sabi niya, hindi daw siya tatakbo. Alam niyo ang nangyari, during the interpellation, minalit niya si Congressman Pacquiao. There was that portion where he said, Congressman, yung tinatanong mo, na-amyenda na yan. Congressman Pacquiao was asking about a provision in the reproductive health bill that would mandate employers to issue contraceptives and condoms, etc., etc. Tinanong ni Congressman Pacquiao, hindi ho ba baka makawawa yung mga employers dyan, ang mga empleyado dyan? Kasi baka mamaya singilin sila ng mga employers, tapos tutubo pa yung mga employers dito sa mga empleyado. Ang sagot ni Congressman Pacquiao, ni Congressman Lagman, kayo po kasi busy kayo na nag-iensayo para sa laban nyo kay sino ba yung nakalaban niya? Margarito, busy kayo. Hindi, isa pa, yung tumakbo ng tumakbo. Busy kayo sa pag-iensayo, kaya hindi nyo alam na amyenda na po yan. And then Congressman Pacquiao said, paano na amyenda yan? Wala pa sa period of amendment. Na TKO po si Congressman Lagman ni Congressman Pacquiao. Technical knockout. Pagsisinungaling po yung ginawa ni Congressman Lagman nung sinabi niya na yan ay naamyenda na. Meron silang proposal. But you know, it takes a period of amendment, a formal submission of an amendment during the period of amendment and approval of plenary for a bill to be amended. Kaya tinangka niyang lokohin si Congressman Pacquiao pero na TKO po siya ni Congressman Pacquiao. Now, what are the strong points of those who have been arguing against the RH bill? May I cite them? Number one, on the economy. We have been able to show statistics that there is no correlation between the level of economic development and population, and more so population density. Kasi parati nila sinasabi, maghihirap ang bansa, naghihirap ang bansa dahil masyadong malaki ang ating populasyon. And of course, we all know that population is measured not only by the size of the population, but population density. At doon pinakita namin in an unrebuttable presentation na ang daming mga bansa sa paligid natin, mas malaki pa ang population density kaysa sa atin. For example, Korea, Taiwan, and more so Hong Kong, Singapore, Macau, na ang laki ng population density, but in spite of that, they are much, much more developed than the Philippines. At ang sabi natin, ang dahilan kung bakit maganda ang level of development nila is because of correct economic strategy and correct leadership. Yun po ang hindi nila masagot. The other one is demographic. Pag sinabi natin demographic, yung populasyon talaga. Ano ba talaga ang ating growth rate? The latest NSO na hindi pa officially pero ito binigay na sa amin is 1.94. But of course, the latest official is 2.05. And it is very clear that our population growth rate, as presented by us, has been declining very significantly over the years. About 30 years ago, it was 3%. And of course, the latest official is about 2.05%. In other words, nagkakaroon na ng population growth decline even without RH. Kaya ang posisyon namin, hindi po kailangan ng RH para magkaroon ng population decline. At lalo na po, nung pinakita ko ito during a talk show, talagang hindi matanggap ito ni Congressman Lagman. Nung pinakita ko na kahit na ang ating population growth rate average for the entire country was 2.05%. Pag inisa-isa mo, yung mga region, Region 1, for example, is a little over 1%. Region 2 is a little over 1%. Medyo mataas ang Central Luzon because of migration, especially in Bulacan, in Pampanga, and in Zambales, Subic, and Clark. Metro Manila, medyo mataas ng konti because of migration. Same with Southern Tagalog, Calabarzon, because of migration. But all the others, including the region of the principal author, Bicol, is about 1.2%. and so on and so forth. Ang nagpapataas lang yung mga lugar na mayroong migration at yung ARMM area na umaabot ng mga 5% ang growth rate. So pinakita namin doon na wala pong population growth rate problem in majority of the regions of the country. Kaya siguro kung meron siyang gustong population program, ang target niya yung mga lugar na meron talagang intrinsic, inherent population growth rate problem, not because of migration, but because of actual birth rate. Pero iilan lang yung mga probinsya na yan, iilan lang yung mga rehiyon na yan. Another one is we showed that right now there are many countries that implemented a very harsh and very strict population control program, but now they are suffering. Ano po yung mga bansang yan? Russia, for example. Russia is now reversing their population control policy. In fact, President Medvedev and Prime Minister Putin already issued statements giving incentives to Russian families if they would have a family of 3 or more children, including free land. China is now reviewing their one-child policy. South Korea has allocated about $60 billion over a 5-year period in order to reverse their population program. Japan is suffering right now because of an aging population. Western Europe is in dire straits because of their past population policy, including yung zero population growth nila. And India, a very noted Indian businessman, a multi-billionaire Indian businessman, Nandan Nilekani, issued a very strong statement in his lectures all over the world, in London School of Economics, in Harvard, when he said, today, we don't anymore look at our large population as a liability, but as an asset. Kaya naman, marami pong mga projections ngayon na nagsasabi na dahilan sa ang China, aging ang population. Pasensya na po sa mga senior citizens dito sa sinasabi kong yan, but these are economists talking. Ang China ngayon, kukunti na lang ang mga batang populasyon nila. Not like India, which has a very strong young workforce of about 300 million. Kaya ngayon, marami pong mga economists, mga world-class economists are projecting that in about 10 to 15 years, India is going to overtake China economically because of their strong labor force. Kaya malaking bagay ho yan. Hindi po si Roy Lugoles ang nagsasabi niyan. At yan ay pinipresenta namin hindi lamang sa mga forum, kundi sa mga debate sa Kamara de Representantes. The other one is the medical aspect. Imagine, we have been saying, and I think this is something that all of us should be using, the medical aspect, especially the medical finding that the oral contraceptives may increase the risk of breast cancer. Sinabi ng UK Research ng Cancer Institute, ng Harvard, ng United States Cancer Institute, at itong bandang huli, mismong si former Health Secretary Cabral mentioned this when she admitted that indeed oral contraceptives increase the risk of breast cancer. So please take note of that. Mismong si Secretary Cabral ang nagsabi, and we all know that Secretary Cabral is one of those who are very much pro-RH. Pero sabi niya, sabi niya meron siyang totoo na ang oral contraceptives nakakapagdagdag ng risk ng breast cancer, pero kayo mag-aalala, magiging healthy naman ang liver ninyo. Ang sabi ko, ano naman ang gagawin ng isang batang babae, isang 30-year-old young housewife na healthy ang liver niya, pero ang bigat ng problema niya sa breast cancer. Hindi po ba? Doon medyo nagulat ako. Ngayon po, siguro kung meron ng liver problem yung babae, it's a matter of life and death. At baka makatulong sa kanya yung oral contraceptives, probably. Kasi siyempre, anyone who has a serious health problem will take any kind of medication, notwithstanding the side effects.